on this Sunday afternoon at Pop Bay Field. Sacramento State on their own third with the ball. Let's go through the starting 11 for the Hornets. Dalen Loud, defender number 5, defending J.D. Mandequit as well, Sydney Schartz and Isabella Vinzenhaler. The midfield attackers, Cassandra Herman, Abigail Lopez, Ellie Farber, and Madeline Doherty. And then the attacking for Sacramento State forwards, Ariana Schulten, Dana Restum, and in goal, Izzy Palmadier for the Hornets. Lopez. Backing up a bit, swings it over to Herman in the middle third. Good takeaway there. Lauren Kenny for Oregon, bringing it up into the attacking third for the first time for the Ducks this afternoon. Sacramento State gets it back to their keeper, Palmadier. Kenny trying to force the turnover. To the side in a foot race out of bounds. Sacramento State will maintain possession. Starting 11 for the Oregon Ducks. Of course, Maddie Goldberg in goal for Oregon. Defending will be Lexi Lurick, Sydney Hennessy, Mako Nezu, and Lucy Green. And the midfielding attack, Chloe Chase, Haley McWhirter. And then forward attack, Lauren Kenny getting the start, already making her name for herself, running all over the field, trying to force a turnover here on Sacramento State. But here come the Hornets into the attacking third field for the first time today. It's Restum to the corner, Schulten into the box and deflected away by Kenny. Oregon trying to flush it out. Headed around and back, and it finds Schulten. Into the far corner, Lopez dribbling. Back inside, Oregon trying to come away with possession and get it out. It's Cameron Bourne. Mentioned her name in the pregame. Been the star player for the Ducks so far this season. Leading goal scorer.
So far, the difference on the attacking side for either team has been who is going to control the ball and limit those turnovers and gain control of that ball and really just try to do the best you can in being smart and being efficient with the opportunities that you get.
For Oregon, their lone score this past Thursday night in their loss to Texas Tech 5-1, Taylor Bryan with the goal for the Ducks, not getting the start here to begin the opening half. Restum up and over, and it'll be Oregon possession. From the near side, it'll be Lucy Green. For Sacramento State, this is a team who's kind of had a lot of ups and downs. Of course, the 2 ties already on the year. They've only played 5 games to this point to Oregon's 6. And for both teams this afternoon, it's the last non-conference game before both open up their conference schedule.
And one big key for this Sac State team, the one game that they did win against Houston Christian at home, a 3-1 win in which they got 20 shot attempts up and 9 shots on goal. If you can accumulate that many shots on goal, especially early in the game, that'll be a key for this Hornets team.
Lopez trying to dump it for Sacramento State. Into the attacking third. Deflected away. Ella Osmussen for the Ducks. Hornets trying to keep it in. And now retreat. Out to Schartz. Headed away by Oregon. It's Nezu. Up to Bourne. And Oregon trying to get set. No shots to this point. Coming up on the opening 5 minutes of the game.
One big key matchup, looking at both these teams' last performances against Texas Tech for the Ducks and against Portland in that game, in that match in Portland for the Hornets. You look at the early scores. Both teams, both the Hornets and the Ducks, let the opposing team score really early. Ended up both of them going down 2-0 in the first 20 minutes of the match. So if you can start faster and limit the scoring early on, you have a better chance of winning the match overall.
Whistle called against Oregon and Ella Asmussen. The Hornets will maintain possession in the middle third of the field. Oregon off to one of their best starts under now the 5-year tenure under Coach Graham Abel. And the energy is certainly high for this squad. A lot of new faces, as you mentioned, Isaac, in this program now.
Yeah, and it's a give and take that with the youth and with the new team, there's going to be a lot of turnovers, a lot of mistakes, but could end up leading to longer-term success.
Dalen Lau dribbling upfield for Sacramento State. Off to Abigail Lopez and back to Lau. Along the far boundary, here comes Sacramento State. Trying to get into the box. Doherty dancing around. Trying to get it back to Lopez. And great defense played. Haley McWhirter forcing the hand of Sacramento State, and Ducks take back possession.
And it was a great play by Haley McWhirter to come from the backside, from midfield, to get and make the aggressive play to get the ball back for the Ducks.
Ducks have been mostly on defense to begin this opening 7 minutes. Only been in attacking third once. It's Lurick. Dribbling it up. Trying to find McWhirter. McWhirter looking for how it finds Nezu. Swing it over to Lucy Green. Asmussen trying to get it inside to McWhirter. And a good trap there by Sacramento State to turn it over. Here's Dana Restum.
A tough turnover for Sac State and the Hornets.
Back and forth. Few errant passes have gone back and forth here between Sacramento State and Oregon. Hornets with fairly high expectations coming into the year. Of course, again, middle of the pack in the preseason poll in the Big Sky Conference. And not off to the ideal start that they were hoping for at 1-2-2. Oregon into the attacking third. Mensah trying to get it to an attacking Green, and it sends it out.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
The kick sails over the netting behind the net, behind the goal, I should say, and out. And it'll be Sacramento State possession.
And that was a missed opportunity for Oregon to try to take advantage of this Hornets defense when they're not set completely. And then you have the throw-in, and they couldn't slow it down. They couldn't do it off the quick play, and now they get a turnover right back almost. And
Mensah
they end up coming up with it.
Dribbling up, Cameron Bourne, leading goal scorer for Oregon. Lucy Green. Challenged well there. Dana Restum has played really good, challenging Oregon here in the opening 15 minutes on defense.
And Restum has been making plays on both sides of the ball. She's been aggressively pressuring Oregon's ball handling. She's been chasing down the field in setting the offense, trying to take advantage of the Ducks quickly on the other side, trying to get into the attacking third. And she's going to be a difference maker here today.
Mensah sending one toward the goal, and it's kept by Palmatier. Grace Mensah, the sophomore from San Luis Obispo, California. Hornets trying to bring it up. And again, another turnover. Ducks really locking in here in the middle third, controlling the past 5 minutes. No substitutions for either team to this point. Still the starting 11 we had for both sides. Centering pass, Mensah with a shot on goal and deflected off by the keeper. Palmatier coming out of the crease. And it'll be a corner kick for Oregon. And Mensah's had a couple looks so far.
It's the first shot on goal for either team. And it's a good opportunity for the Ducks. Palmatier, though, with the aggressive play to come out of the net, come down out into the goalie's box in order to swat that one out.
Got two hands on the shot, likely deflected it away from the goal. Could have been a score for Oregon. Instead, it's a corner kick for now. And it'll be Sydney Hennessy from the right near side corner. First corner kick of the game for either side. Hennessy sends it in. High. And going up. And nearly a header in. Sacramento State trying to get it out. Lucy Green keeps it in.
That was great placement by the corner kicker there.
Green sends it wide of the goal. Hennessy gave Oregon a chance. Looked like Chloe Chase went up and had contact close, but Hornets defend well. And a whistle. Grace Mensah down on a left knee for Oregon. And it looks like Mensah needs a sub. Trainers will come out to check on her. She likely was involved in the scrum near the goal on the corner kick and may have had some contact inside. And she'll walk off under her own power.
And that is an unfortunate loss in this game. She leads this team in assists, has 3 points on the year. She also has 9 shots. You know, she's one of the facilitators of the offense, not somebody you want to lose here in this game.
So Taylor Person, the freshman from Frisco, Texas, comes in substitution for Mensah. And Mensah, a couple shots to her name already in this game, have been the most pivotal players so far to begin the opening 18 minutes for the Ducks. For Oregon's sake, they hope she's okay and she can return sooner rather than later in this game for Oregon. Bringing it up, Oregon. Chloe Chase. And the attacking third. Chase trying to go with McQuarter. And it's flushed out by Sacramento State. And to the boundary. It maintains Duck possession. Lucy Green on the challenge against Dana Restum. And a turnover here. Hornets with possession. Haven't been in the attacking third in nearly 10 minutes. But here they are. Ducks trying to challenge well. Goldberg comes out of the net and retrieves. Mensah continues to get looked at on the sideline for Oregon. Still kind of hunched over, potentially a midsection injury, maybe in the rib area. Continue to see further updates on Mensah's status. Kenny bringing it up for the Ducks. To Bourne, back to Kenny.
You mentioned it earlier, Jonah, how Sac State has not gotten the ball into the attacking third in the past 10 minutes. Oregon has really been dominating the time of possession the last 10 minutes. And they got that shot on goal. And even if you're not scoring, even if you're not getting shots on goal, it's a promising sign that you are just controlling the time of possession, controlling the ball, and being smart with your decisions.
20 minutes gone by, no score here in the first 45 minutes of play. Oregon just 3 shots to this point to Sacramento State's 2. And the lone save credited to Izzy Palmatier for the Hornets. Down in for Oregon. Coming in, Person, and fouled inside, seemingly by 25, Isabella Vincenthaler. And a red card shown to Isabella Vincenthaler.
And that's one of those aggressive plays that you didn't see Sac State succeed on, but Oregon finally finds a way, putting the ball over the defense to a cutting attacker. It was a beautiful play to set up this shot.
Dished in by Lexi Lerwick. And you see the grab there on the left hand by Vincenthaler to the back of the jersey of Taylor Person. And so a free penalty kick for Oregon. It's Mako Nezu. Nezu in. Ducks on the board. It's 1-0 on the penalty kick.
How about Mikado Nezu? Her first goal of the year. She's got 3 shots this year. And with the loss of the player in Mensa, Oregon still able to find a cutting attacker down the field, draw the penalty, draw the foul, and able to capitalize with the score. And it ends up being a turnover after all.
Taylor Bryan into the game for Oregon for the first time today. Subs out Cameron Bourne. Again, Bryan, the lone goal scorer on Thursday night for the Ducks. Has 2 goals on the year for Oregon, second to Bourne's 3.
And Taylor Bryan is really key to this Ducks team because you've seen Cameron Bourne. She's been able to score. She's leading the team, but you're looking for that second attacker, second forward on the team who's going to be able to match the scoring and can be used when Bourne is drawing all the attention. Who else is going to be able to score?
Bryan into the box. And a shot on goal, save Palmatier. And an injured Hornet down on the field on the far side. As we try to get a number on who it is down for Sacramento State. It's the second injury now we've seen, one from each side. Gloria, a redshirt in her own right, redshirt junior. Hornets with possession in the middle third. Sending it in. It's Schulten for Sacramento State. Now to Lopez. Challenged well by Taylor Bryan. And sends Sacramento State back for a moment. And a good challenge by Oregon here. And a grab of the jersey by Lau, seen by the ref. Whistle blows. Ducks maintain possession.
And those are the kind of plays that the Hornets just have not made. They've made those mistakes. And a great play there on the read by Carly Cormack. Just came into the game, just subbed in a couple minutes ago.
And the attacking third, Bryan. Dribbling to the corner, far corner. Now Nezu. Back out, Chloe Chase. Chase sending it in toward the box. Kenny dribbling around into the box to the left and deflected away well. JD Mandaquit. Palmatier comes out of the net and keeps it in.
Great effort by Palmatier to keep that in. And another Hornets turnover there, that time being too aggressive and trying to get into the attacking third too early.
6 shots for Oregon now in the opening 45. At midfield, Lurick with Chase. Chase bringing it up. Chloe Chase into the box. Trying to center it to no avail. Back out. Nezu already has the penalty kick goal. The lone goal on the board. Taylor Bryan. Bryan sent it toward the net. And a whistle as the kick goes wide left.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
To midfield. Great trap there by Oregon, forcing Doherty's hand. Candace Ching gets it back.
And these retreating passes are not what you've seen from Sacramento State. Those are what you want in order to keep the possession and try to be smart with it.
Doherty trying to dribble up. Challenged by Sprague. Finds a Gloria. Into the attacking third. Come the Hornets. Now retreat back for a moment. Over to Teixeira. Back to Restum. And a whistle blown against Sacramento State.
And that was number 6 there.
Teixeira.
Teixeira there having that ball. It was right on the line. Refs end up calling it out of bounds and gives it to Oregon's possession. Those are some of the unfortunate errors that Sacramento State has had when they've gotten the opportunities, when they've gotten possession, that they just keep turning the ball over.
McWhorter trying to send it in. Palmatier comes out and retrieves. McWhorter a few times have sent deep centering kicks in from midfield. And of course the penalty goal from Nezu was set up by McWhorter.
And Taylor,
excuse me, Lexi Lurick, that is, for Oregon.
Yeah, and it's the same play where you're trying to set up Taylor Person down the field. And that time it didn't work, but now they're trying to
Here's
rush
Person
ahead.
trying to find Livy Moore. And sent away by Sacramento State.
So Taylor Person, she had that cut in order to set up that Nezu goal. When she was in for just 2 minutes, that time they tried to do the same thing on that lob over the defense on the last Oregon possession. And now we'll see how this one ends.
Moore. Trying to send it in. Does so, but I believe the offside whistle goes against Oregon. Hornets get possession.
So for Sacramento State, their offensive miscues have been on the turnovers, in forcing the ball. But on Oregon's side, it's been the fouls, and it's been getting whistle calls that are unfortunate, really they need to clean up if they want to keep scoring and they want to build on this lead.
Coming up on the final 10 of the opening 45. For how dominant Oregon has been in time of possession, Sacramento State's still in this game. Turnover here, Taylor Bryan for Oregon. And she ends up on the ground. No whistle. Oregon keeps possession into the attacking third. Livy Moore. Gets it taken away. Madeline Doherty for Sacramento State. Doherty trying to chase it up. Sent away by Lucy Green. Hornets will inbound at midfield.
And a great play by Lucy Green to see that pass, trying to go down the line, just in bounds, and ended up kicking it out of bounds there.
Dalen Lau, Ellie Farber, and Dana Restum, 3 starters for Sacramento State that had yet to come off the field, now sub off for the first time today. Lexi Schroeder, the sophomore, number 24, checks in. Tayshaw Ray inbound in the middle third. Sending it in and headed away by Lerwick.
Tayshaw Ray
Here comes Taylor Person now for Oregon.
Tayshaw Ray sent that into a crowd of Ducks defenders. Those are the aggressive plays that we've seen that have not worked in Sac State's favor.
Chloe Chase. Trying to find Person. Ends up at the cradle. Sydney Cradle into the box. Trying to send one towards the net and passed Palmatier and out.
And nobody was cutting for Cradle. She tried to center that ball in order to set up a shot on goal, and nobody was there that time. But that was a great play and a fortunate through pass that ended up going past a few defenders, past the intended receiver, ended up finding Cradle in that left corner.
Sydney Cradle and Livy Moore, 2 players coming off the bench for Oregon in this game so far, have been active on the attacking third for the Ducks. And Cradle, one of the fastest players on this Duck roster.
And that time, the Hornets had an unforced error, kicked it out of bounds, and now Oregon did the same thing, and it'll be Hornets ball again here on the near side.
Tisha Ray gets it out. Cassandra Herman retreats back to Palmatier.
And now you can see Oregon putting a lot of pressure on these Hornets backfielders.
Good challenge there. Lucy Green. Now back. Lexi Schroeder. Livy Moore not happy. Thought it was off Schroeder. It's called off Moore. Sacramento State just can't maintain possession long enough to set up an attack on the offensive third. Bryan trying to get to Livy Moore. Moore flushed away by Herman.
And you mentioned it. It feels like Oregon has had the ball on their side of the attacking third or controlling it in the mid-third for this entire game. Ever since the first 5 or 10 minutes when the Hornets had an opportunity in their attacking third, they just couldn't capitalize, and they haven't even seen or gotten to that portion of the field since.
Corner sent in by Person, deflected around and swatted away. Palmatier with the right hand gets it out, and it's out to the far boundary.
And it's the one consistent staple of this team, Palmatier making plays, swatting that ball away.
Chloe Chase with the header sent it in, and Shania Gloria for Sacramento State trying to send it out with their own header, nearly had an own goal. Palmatier aware enough to send it away.
Her 4th goal of the day.
Save, that is.
Excuse me, save. Thank you.
I look out for you.
Yeah.
Cradle. Into the box. Cradle trying to send it in and off the side of the net on the shot. Oregon having all sorts of looks here in the opening half. Inside of 5 minutes to go.
Oregon racked up 10 shots so far today, and Sacramento with 2. And that time, unfortunate there. The Hornets did a great job of loading up, pressuring Oregon on that side there, and able to force the errant shot.
Quarter up to Livy Moore. Moore to Cormac. Cormac bringing it up. Swinging it over far side, Cradle. Sydney Cradle trying to get it back to Cormac, too far ahead and out. Hornets now with possession. Closing in on the halfway break. Oregon with a 1-0 lead off a penalty kick from Mako Nezu. Her first goal of the year. Fifth-year senior. Here come the Hornets. Trying to get it in, and just a bad pass, trying to get it up to Lexi Schroeder. Unsuccessful. And the Ducks, it's almost rather seemingly easily defending Sacramento State anytime the Hornets try to mount an attack.
I think if you're the Hornets now, I think you need to try something else defensively, because also not only has offensively you've been turning it over when you have the ball, but also defensively been maintaining those. Oregon's been able to maintain possessions, keep the clock rolling, have the ball in their possession, make smart plays. And they haven't been putting a lot of ball pressure into the attacking third when Oregon has it in their back third.
Claudia bring it up. Doherty. Back to Mandequit and over to the far side. Turnover, Taylor Bryan for Oregon. Into the box. Bryan trying to get in. Sends it with the right leg and nearly catching the right post and just wide. Another shot on goal for Oregon.
Are we sure that Paul Mottier didn't get a piece of that? Looked like
hard to tell.
Just outside.
Might have skimmed her left fingertips.
She might have just gotten a piece of that ball to kick that to push that away, but that's a great play. Great offensive movement from Oregon to take that aggressive shot there.
Closing in on the final seconds here, the opening 45. 1-0 lead for the Ducks, although they have absolutely controlled the complexity of the match against Sacramento State. 11 shots to the Hornets 2. Cradle in, Cormac. Nezu sending it in. And washed away. And that is how the first half ends. We'll see if the Ducks can continue the dominance on the attack side of the ball.
And another key to how the Ducks were able to control that time of possession was defensively. There was very limited pressure, very minimal pressure from the Hornets until they got into the middle third. Meanwhile, for the Ducks, they've been putting the pressure on the Hornets defensively.
It's a warm day here in Eugene, Oregon, approaching the mid-80s. It is a rule at the collegiate level in NCAA women's soccer. And we saw it in the first half. Around the 25-minute mark, there is a mandatory hydration break of about 2 minutes, and the same thing goes here in the second half. There will likely be another break around the 70-minute mark for the same reason. Taylor Bryan in with a shot and over the net. of Palmadier.
And there's another one of those errant passes. We saw so many of those from the Hornets earlier, and that time, Hornets are fortunate that that doesn't end up a goal, and this isn't a 2-0 match.
Up comes Sacramento State. Schulten up to Doherty. And the attack in third, trying to get into the box is Sacramento State. Hasn't happened much today. Taylor Bryan trying to challenge. Doherty maintains. Sends it in towards Goldberg. Goldberg comes in, easy save for Maddie Goldberg.
And Goldberg really hasn't seen much action today. That's her first save of the day. She's been kind of getting that first half was very restful for her, I'd imagine. She didn't see much action.
And that just the first shot on goal as well, being the first save for Goldberg. Here's Oregon. Taylor Person has been active today for the Ducks. Kenny, shot and wide. Palmadier was all over it. But again, another look for Oregon inside the box.
And that was a tough pass. That was a tight pass for Taylor Person if that one were to go through, but ended up curving in the direction that she didn't intend it to. It still almost ended in a goal.
Yeah, just wide.
Lauren Kenny almost just missed wide of the goal.
Now the Hornets coming back. Showing a bit more prowess on the attack mode to begin the second 45. Into the box. Second center kick. Taysha Ray just over the top of the crossbar and out. But the Hornets coming out of the halftime locker room looking better on the attack mode.
And this is a promising sign for Sacramento State. Getting these shots on goal. This is that's already 2 in the half. That's 2 more than you had all of the entire first half. Just in this first 3 minutes of the second half, you've already got 2. It's a promising sign to show that your offense has made a few adjustments, maybe looking to get on the board here.
Carmack. Now back over. Lurick. Lurick trying to send it up towards Kenny. And it's off Kenny and out. And we talked about it in the first half. Lurick has been active all over the midfield for Oregon. Sending deep kicks in and maintaining possession in the attacking third for the Ducks in that first half. Here's Nezu, lone goal scorer here today.
Nezu has been patrolling the middle of the field and facilitating the movement, facilitating the passing, and making smart decisions. Here she is again.
Nezu bringing it in. Wanted McWhorter. McWhorter was backing up, miscommunication, and it's sent away. It'll still be Duck possession. Looked like McWhorter just hesitated just for a split second and was not on the same page as with Nezu. Here's Kenny. Trying to get it across towards Cormac. Now to the far corner, Person. Person crossing it in, sent away. Cassandra Herman. On the far boundary, Herman sends it out. And back to midfield, Lurick. Here's Chloe Chase. Hands it off to Kenny. Kenny being challenged well by Mandaquit. Sends it back out to Nezu. Nezu towards the far corner, trying to get to Person, not quite there. Here's Doherty. Trying to chop it over and sent out by Oregon.
I think the key to that play in the Hornets getting the stop there was number 8 in the middle, Mandaquit. Right as Kenny is attacking, she stayed home, stayed true, and didn't let up as Kenny was attacking her, trying to get around her right in the middle of the pitch.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Back in for the Hornets as Gloria signs off. Here's Bowler, just into the game, bringing it up for Oregon. To Cormack, in the far corner. Cormack, dancing in, sends one towards the goal, and just left. Keeps it in, is Lau, challenged by Bryan, sends it out.
Interesting to see what the Ducks do defensively here. Do they pressure? Do they back off here? Now that they're in their attacking side, they're attacking third in the inbound from the Hornets here.
Hazeman Bowler for Oregon, the freshman, in her first collegiate season from Stanford, California. Bryan sends us back. And Kenny challenges with Lau, and it goes off Lau. So Oregon will get possession back on the attacking third.
And that pressure worked. I was wondering whether or not the Ducks were going to keep defensively just maintaining and putting a lot of pressure, hoping for a turnover. And now another battle here in the corner.
Very physical. We mentioned the physical play coming back from the halftime break in the first half. It continues. Kenny there hand battling with Dalen Lau. And Lau gets the upper hand. Oregon now 7 fouls to the Hornets 3. Now comes Sacramento State. A speedy Candace Ching bringing it up. Back to the far side. Abigail Lopez. Lopez, center. And turned over Taylor Bryan. Busting the play. Here's Bryan bringing it up for Oregon. Slowing it down, trying to get it to Kenny. Now Doherty for Sacramento State. Lopez trying to dish it up. Ahead for Schulten. In the far corner. Schulten trying to cross it. Sent away by Green. Kept in. Now towards the box, Taysha Ray. No one there to help. Cormack. Up to Bowler. The freshman bringing it up again for Oregon. With Taylor Bryan. Trying to dish it off to Bryan. Now Nezu. Trying to send it in. Not on the same page with Hennessy. Taysha Ray in the corner with Hennessy. Goes out.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Back in McQuarter. Quarter looking. Hennessy to McQuarter. Nezu remains in the attacking third. Sending it in, trying to cross and sent away. Back to Cradle at midfield. Dana Reston back on to the playing field for Sacramento State as well. Here's Cradle trying to keep it in, and a centering pass that was then intercepted by Paul Matier. I don't think it should be recorded as a shot on goal, but Paul Matier with a heads-up play to knock it down.
And it feels like every time Oregon gets an opportunity, Paul Matier has gotten a read on what Oregon is doing, where they're trying to attack, and either getting there early and intercepting those balls, getting a piece of them, in order to just ruin Oregon's opportunities at the net.
Here's Bourne. He's going to bring it up for Oregon. To McWhorter with space. McWhorter coming in. McWhorter loses a handle. And coming away with it is Cassandra Herman. Now Tasha Ray. Nezu coming in. McWhorter. Livy Moore. Moore with a shot at the left kick and off the crossbar. Still a chance for Oregon in the box. And sent out. Nearly a second goal for Oregon. Livy Moore off the crossbar.
And that one was just out of the reach of Pomadier. That was probably the best shot that Oregon's had besides that goal.
Well, here's Bourne. Bourne with a shot. And right up Pomadier. Back-to-back shots for Oregon. But Livy Moore nearly getting the second one on for the Ducks.
Pomadier now collecting her 6th save of the day. Oregon 7 shots on goal, 19 shots overall. They've been racking those up and still only have 1 goal on the day.
And what seemed like Sacramento State came out strong to begin the second half have now kind of fallen back to the way the first half had gone, and that they just cannot get possession of the ball and go on offense. Oregon just continues to live in the attacking third.
And it's got to be frustrating for these offensive playmakers when you have certain opportunities. They've gotten some fortunate calls, especially with the foul disparity in 7 Oregon fouls to the Hornets, just 3. And that's helped them kind of get favorable positions, gain possession, maintain possession, move down the field, get in advantageous spots, but they just haven't been able to take advantage, and Oregon has just been dominating here in the attacking third.
Inbound, Tasha Ray trying to get it up. Ellie Farber, leading goal scorer for the Hornets. But again, Oregon halts the momentum that Sacramento State tries to build.
It feels like some of those passes are just too aggressive. Maybe it's part of Oregon's scheme that they know those are the passes that they need to make.
Oregon bringing it up. Bowler. The shot, Pomadier lays out with the save. Again, the freshman Bowler brought it up multiple times, showing off the speed. And again, her first collegiate season. Here's Tasha Ray trying to get it up. But again, Isaac, as you said before, another pass that was forced by Sacramento State there and just gives up possession of any chance of trying to maintain possession and create something.
Here's
Tasha Ray.
Here's an opportunity
dancing
for them
around.
right now.
Restum. Up to Farber. Farber. Now to the attacking third. Centering pass. Doherty. Dancing around. Challenged by Cormack. Back to Farber. Near side corner. Centering pass. Headed in. And easy save for Goldberg as she comes out. It was headed by Doherty, but not quite enough velocity to have a chance.
I think when you look at this Sacramento State team, there's, a lot of youth on it, and with that, there's gonna be the turnovers, there's gonna be the mistakes, and those are expected. Your 2 leaders on the team, Izzy Palmatier, and your leading scorer, Ella Farber, both sophomores, both in their 2nd and 3rd years on the team. And when you have that youth at your leadership really leading this team, there's going to be mistakes. But it's just whether or not you can weather them, stay in games, and compete at a high level with that youth and inexperience.
Be a fifth corner kick coming up for Oregon.
Hydration break.
And as noted, when we came back from halftime, around the 70-minute mark would be a mandatory hydration break. With a hot day like it is today in the mid-80s, it is mandatory at the collegiate soccer level. They take a mandatory break around the halfway point of each half, and that is what they'll do right now. It'll be about a 2-minute break. We'll stay right here on Big Ten Plus. So we'll see in this final 20 if the Hornets can find something, although there hasn't been much signs of success for Sacramento State offensively on the attack side in this second half that would lead you to believe that the Hornets can tie it up. But again, still just down 1 goal.
Well, they did come out of the break here with 2 shots on goal. There are only 2 just in the first 5 minutes of this second half. They got 2 shots on goal. That's all that they've had to show for here today. Maybe this break, this mandatory water timeout, maybe this will be the spark that Sacramento State needs.
Good challenge by Hennessy on Taysha Ray. And she wins possession and retreats back to Goldberg. You mentioned it, Maddie Goldberg. Just the 2 shots on goal today for Sacramento State. Goldberg has had a quiet afternoon in net for Oregon. And how about the response from Oregon? Again, only having 7 shots this past Thursday night against Texas Tech. Now 20 and counting here today. And again, for both teams, the final non-conference game on the schedule before conference play opens up.
And you talked about the shots on goal. It was one thing I mentioned earlier in that Sacramento State, when they won their only win so far this year, they got 20 shots on goal. 20 shots, and 9 shots on goal. And that's exactly almost where Oregon's at now. They're at 20 shots and 8 shots on goal so far today. But we knew that whoever gave themselves more opportunities was going to win this one, as that's typically the key to success, is setting up yourself in those opportunities, being smart with the ball, making good decisions in order to work down the field and set yourself up for those opportunities, get some shots. And so far, Sacramento State has not been able to match the production on that side that Oregon has today.
Here's Sacramento State now in the attacking third. Dalen Lau in the corner. Lau trying to get into the box. Looking for help. Lau finds it far side. Candace Ching now up. Mandaquit trying to send it back into the box. Headed away. Lurwick. Here's Cormack for Oregon. To Livy Moore. Moore try to get it to Kenny, too far. Here's Restum. Hornets showing some attack here. Far side, Schroeder. Trying to get to Restum in the box. Restum, Farber deflected away.
And that's the player, if you're Sacramento State, that's the player
Absolutely.
You want to be getting the ball in the middle of the field, setting up for shots on goal. Ellie Farber, the sophomore, leads the team, 2 goals, 5 points, 13 shot attempts on the year. She hasn't scored a point the last 2 matches, but last year, started the year collecting assists and finally starting to see an increase in shot attempts. Ended on the year with 32 last year.
First corner of the game for the Hornets upcoming. Cassandra Herman from the near side corner. On the O. Sends it in low. And an easy defense for Oregon. And a trip. Foul called on Sacramento State and Herman. Closing in the final 15 here. Seventh game of the year for Oregon, sixth for the Hornets. Up the field to Cradle. Kenny. And a good challenge. Sacramento State bringing it back. Restum, far side. Restum looking to get into the box. Challenged by Nezu. Centering, and Goldberg comes in to make the interception, change of possession towards Oregon.
And I feel like that's the first really challenging save for Maddie Goldberg here today, where she's made the play, and Sacramento State hasn't really put a lot of pressure on her to make a good play at the net, but that time collecting her third save, able to get that one.
Chase and Lurick, defensive backfielders. That's been the forte all game long for Oregon. And here's another send in by Lurick. Trying to get it to Bourne. Bourne just out of the reach. Paul Matier comes out. Here's Tasha Ray. Ray back. Over to Candace Ching. Ching trying to dribble upfield. Sends it across Tasha Ray. Into the attacking third. Challenged by Nezu. Now centering. Past Rustum. And a whistle. And it'll be possession Oregon.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
And we're going to get a substitution for Oregon. Livy Moore is going to come off. Taylor Person in for Moore. And Taylor Person's been active when she's been on the field today for Oregon.
Yeah, she came in when Grace Mensah had to step out earlier in this match. And when she did step in, she had that pivotal cutting attack on the goal that ended up with Oregon's only goal here today.
Cross, Paulmeyer comes out. And Paulmeyer with the save. Headed away in Nezu. Kenny inside the attacking third. Cross, Person. Person challenged by Ching, sends it out. It'll be a corner kick for Oregon.
This is Oregon's 6th corner of the day. And as this clock keeps winding, you got to start to be in a desperate mode if you're the Hornets, trying to just get one goal in order to tie this up.
And Palmadier, keeper for the Hornets, done a great job on all 5 of the corners so far from Oregon. Now the 6th, as you mentioned, Isaac. Sent in towards Lurick, a header towards the goal, sent away by Palmadier and into the goal and in. The second goal of the day for the Ducks. It was headed around and contact at the net. Ends up with the ball into the back of the net. Lexi Lurick credited with the score.
And this is a great corner and then great opportunity to just bat this ball around, keep heading it, keep it alive, keep it up in the air, and then eventually passing the line in the net. A great shot there to get that one in.
So it's changed now. Taylor Bryan gets credited after the replay with the goal. It was headed by a few different players inside. Lexi Lurick, was the first. McWhorter was in with Bryan as well. And replay evidently shows Bryan was the last to touch for Oregon. She gets the credit with the goal, and that's her third goal of the season, tied for the team high. And with that, 2-0 lead for Oregon, well in control now as we enter the final 3.5 coming up. So sort of a strange second goal. Kind of had to iron it out and see where the ball last touched.
Yeah, Lexi Lurick got the assist, got the original header.
Up to Taylor Bryan into the box. Bryan looking for a second and off of Palmatier.
And
another save.
Taylor Bryan has really come alive here in the last 2 matches. She had a goal, the lone goal in that Texas Tech loss last week, and now she gets this one, the second goal here in this match. She's somebody who, along with the leader on this team in Cameron Bourne, they're really looking for someone to pair with Cameron Bourne here on the offensive attack here in Oregon. And she could probably step in and fill that role.
Oregon has played well for most of the now 87 minutes that have gone by. They have absolutely controlled time of possession and being in the attacking third zone of the field on Sacramento State. And look to be on their way to a 4-0 record at home this year. Sent in by Sacramento State into the box. And Lurick sends it away and out. Hornets will inbound far side. The clock has stopped at the moment on the 88th minute. The ball sent out by Lurick, sent out of the stadium, so the clock stops to get a new fresh ball. And the clock will resume on the inbound. Schulten sent away by Lucy Green.
This is just Sacramento State's second corner here, now in the 89th minute. Looking for
perhaps one final chance for the Hornets on the corner. If they get a quick goal. Sent in, deflected, and Goldberg comes out for Oregon and retrieves.
And Goldberg been really conserving her energy here today. She ends up making what might be the exclamation point here on this win over Sacramento State.
Ducks looking to get back to over 500. Came into the day 3-3. Will improve to 4-3.
And Maddie Goldberg, she's a very underrated player. She's the goalkeeper here for the Oregon Ducks, and she's tied 4th in the Big Ten with 2 shutouts, and is 3rd in the Big Ten in total saves with 18 coming into this game. now adding to that total with 22.
Hornets with possession. Trying to move quickly, but Oregon not letting them. And now arrow back to Oregon. Closing in on the conclusion of this afternoon's matchup between the Hornets and the Ducks. Back to midfield. And the Oregon Ducks will head into Big Ten Conference play with a 4-3 record after a win of 2-0 over Sacramento State today. Mako Nezu, her first goal of the year, and Taylor Bryan, credited with her third goal of the season, are the two scorers for Oregon as they shut out the Hornets. Third loss of the season for Sacramento State.
Yeah, and really, this is a match for Oregon that you really wanted to build some momentum going into conference play, and it felt like they did that.